How you guys doing? John, Indoor Hydroponics. Welcome back. Hope you guys are all doing really well. There's a couple of fun sayings. I've used them in prior videos that growers use a lot. One of those sayings, and I'll use them both in this video, is the more roots, the more fruits. So what does that mean? That means the healthier a plant's root mass is, particularly in container gardening, the healthier the plant will be. And what you're looking at here is an air pot with tons and tons of perforations in it exposed to oxygen. So what takes place when you plant in an air pot or even a fabric type container is that once the roots expand out and start reaching, they're going to hit that oxygen. And they don't really like that oxygen. So what they end up doing is splitting, forking off, and then going back into the dirt, which ends up creating a huge fibrous root mass that has the ability to take up more water and nutrient for a better, healthier plant. So if you ever look in a standard container plant, you'll notice those roots just circle around and get root bound, and this prevents a plant from getting root bound. So what I got going on in here, I've got some Happy Frog potting mix, I've got some Miracle Grow, I've got some compost, earthworm castings, a little bit of azomite, and just as I plant this thing out and get it topped off, it starts to pour, which is good because it needed a rain anyway. Which brings us to our second fun saying: the more shoots, the more fruits. And so on smaller fruiting pepper varieties, such as a jalapeno, it looks like I just massacred that, but I didn't. You can top it. And by topping it off, if you've never done that, you do it just below the first fork and leave those leaves on. Okay, so see how I left like 4 or 5 leaves on? Really important to leave those on, because that is the only source of energy that that plant is going to get to produce new shoots. And a couple days later, this process goes by pretty quick, and you'll notice underneath each leaf node that you left will be some more leaves. And what are those? Those are new shoots. And as we continue the grow out, they'll get bigger and bigger. And what we ended up doing here, as you can see, is instead of having one shoot on the mother plant, we now created 4 shoots from the beginning. So if you do the math, you have now quadrupled your production from the very beginning. So really cool here. So we are going to quadruple our shoots. We're going to quadruple the amount of buds this plant will put on. And it just starts to grow out, and it'll stay fairly compact and put on tons of fruit. It'll bush out, and it'll continue to fork just like the mother plant would. So, really cool idea here if you've never done it, to top a pepper plant. Now, it's just starting to put buds on. We're a few weeks out from when we did this, but the plant is doing very well. What I wouldn't do is like larger pepper varieties like bell peppers. Bell peppers only have enough energy in the plant to put out a certain amount of large blocky bell peppers. But for smaller pepper varieties like a jalapeno, chili, banana peppers, wax peppers, this is a really good technique to get lots more fruit at about the standard size of the fruit. So here we are about a month later. I've got small little fruits starting, lots of buds kicking in, and this thing is going to be loaded up. Now, I won't get all the way to the end of the grow in this video, but I will shoot a follow-up to show you all the production on this. I like to leave my jalapenos on until they turn red. They're still really hot when they're red, but they also get a little bit sweeter, and I like the flavor better. So I grow them all the way out to red. So you'll see that in a follow-up video. Nonetheless, I'm going to show you a chili plant that I did not top off. And the disadvantage here is that they grow super tall, right? I mean, this plant is over 3 foot in the air right now. It's actually 4 plants. I planted them together in a large 5-gallon container. But they are just starting to fork, and they're just starting to put on fruit. And I never topped them. So they're going to continue to grow tall and tall and tall, and they're going to bush out. Problem is, they're going to bush out 3 foot in the air and keep growing vertical. So had I topped these a month ago, it would have been shorter, more compact. I would have had this way more fruit on this. But this variety is a Tabasco, and it's known to get bushy and grow really, really tall anyway. But nonetheless, really wish I had topped them now, because they're just so high in the air, and I'm going to have to get bigger stakes to keep them going vertical. Anyway, guys, I will shoot a follow-up video and show you a couple of things. One, at the end of the grow, I'll also undo the air pot, and you'll be able to see all those small fibrous roots. Won't be root bound. It'll look really neat. We'll compare it against a bell pepper plant that's grown out in a 5-gallon container, and you can see that tap root circling around the container, and at that point the plant just kind of stops in terms of size growing, because the roots are root bound. Whereas in this instance, it won't do that. We'll also show the end of the production here on a topped pepper plant, and you'll see how loaded this thing gets down. It's going to be really cool. So stick around for a couple more months. I will get some follow-up videos to this topped pepper plant. We'll do a comparison on its root mass. So as always, guys, thanks for stopping in. Hope you try topping some peppers here soon if you've never done it before. And if you have, leave me a comment and tell me how it went. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. Peace.